Hello, welcome back to Every Problem. This is Stewart Calculus 8th edition, chapter 1. Section 1.1, and problem number 53. This problem's a little bit trickier than some of the previous ones in this section. So it says the bottom half of the parabola, x plus y minus 1 squared equals 0. And what they want us to do is they want us to find the equation for that bottom half of the parabola. So they gave us the full parabola, but they only want the bottom half. So how do we do that? Well, first thing is usually when we see these kinds of parabolas, the x and y might be flipped. We're not really used to seeing x as a function of y. Normally it's y is a function of x, whichever way it is, right? Usually it's always y equals something. In this case, it looks like it's more so an x equals kind of thing. So what I mean by that is we have x plus y minus 1 squared equals 0. And our input variable is going to be y with our output being x. So it's flipped. In a standard parabola, y equals x squared, you would see something like this. However, in this kind of parabola, with the form x equals y squared, it's going to be a different type of parabola. It's going to look like this. So that's that, right? And then conversely, if we had y equals negative x squared, well, that would look like that, right? Because it would be reflected across the x-axis. If we had x equals y squared, it would look more like this. And so now that we have those rough sketches, let's figure out how to find the specific function for the bottom half of the parabola. Well, first off, let's go ahead and separate the variables out. So we have x plus y minus 1 quantity squared equals 0. Well, I want to get x and y on different sides. So now we have x equals negative y minus 1 squared, and well, right now this is I know this is maybe a lot of the algebra 2 rules thrown out thrown at you at the same time, but this is in what's called the H and K form, also known as vertex form. Vertex form, which would look something. It's hard to introduce this right now just because the x and y variables are switched. So our parabola is laying on its side as opposed to being straight up and down, like the U. Instead, it's a sideways U. But in your standard parabola, vertex form takes this shape. Y equals x minus h squared plus k, where h is our x vertex, and k, well, our x coordinate for the vertex, and k is our y coordinate. So what I mean by that, just as a quick example, is if we had y equals x minus 2 quantity squared plus 1, well, this 2 here, the 2 all by itself, right, that's going to be the x coordinate, and this 1 is going to be the y. So our vertex will be labeled at 2, 1, and then the rest of our parabola goes from there. Anyways, that's vertex form. So here we see we have a pretty backwards version of vertex form, right? Where instead of y equals x, we have x equals y of some sort. And it's not just y, it's a negative y. So our graph is going to be this way. Okay? So we know it's going to be that way, and it's going to be shifted up in the direction. It's going to be shifted up in the y direction by positive 1. So we know, let's go ahead and draw this out just a little bit. Maybe a little bit neater than that. We know that our vertex is going to be up here in the positive 1 direction, and it's going to go that way. Okay? Well, great. As a matter of fact, we pretty much almost have our answer. It's just a weird way to visualize it, but that's about it. So it's negative, so it's facing to the left, right? And our vertex, a neat thing to know about parabolas is your vertex in any parabola is also your axis of symmetry. So when they're asking us for the bottom half or the top half, we know that wherever our vertex is, the axis of symmetry passes through it, and so the bottom half is just going to be anything over here. So that's nice. That means that anything from the point, from the input value of y equals 1, anything from there and lower is going to be the inputs that we want for this function. And so the expression for the function is going to be x equals negative y minus 1 squared, but it's also going to be for all y less than 1. And that's going to be our answer, is we have that parabola, x equals negative y plus 1 squared for all y less than 1. I hope that makes sense. I know it can be a little bit difficult just with the vertex form and x and y switched and having a negative in there all at the same time. So if there are any other questions, definitely let me know, and I'll try to address them as quickly as I possibly can. And yeah, good luck, and yeah, good luck.